He wasn't famous. He wasn't loud. He didn't fit the stereotype of a serial killer. Israel Keyes was a soft-spoken contractor from Alaska, a father, a military veteran. And behind that ordinary face was one of the most terrifying killers the FBI has ever investigated. This is the story of a man who buried kill kits across the US, struck with chilling precision, and then vanished into the crowd. A serial killer who didn't want fame, only control. Welcome to the story of Israel Keyes. Born in 1978 in Richmond, Utah, Israel Keyes grew up in an isolated, survivalist household. His family moved off the grid to the woods of Washington state, where electricity was scarce and ideology ran deep. Raised in a home steeped in religious extremism and social withdrawal, young Keyes quickly learned how to navigate the wilderness, and how to keep secrets. As he grew older, he detached from the rigid beliefs of his upbringing, but the seed of something much darker had already taken root. By his early teens, Keyes had developed a fascination with death and control. He committed his first known violent act against an animal at just 14, a chilling preview of what was to come. But what made Israel Keyes unlike any other killer was his method. Israel Keyes didn't kill on impulse. He planned, years in advance. He buried kill kits, buckets filled with weapons, cash, rope, duct tape, in random locations across the country waiting for the right moment. When he chose a victim, he didn't stalk them for days. He picked people at random because that made him harder to track. No connection. No pattern. No signature. Keyes traveled thousands of miles between kills. Sometimes flying. Sometimes driving across multiple state lines. All to throw off law enforcement. His crimes were so spread out that even the FBI believes they may never uncover the full extent of what he did. Even investigators described him as meticulous and cold-blooded. A killer who knew exactly what he was doing. For years, he slipped under the radar, leading a double life as a father and small business owner in Alaska. In 2012, Israel Keyes made a mistake. He abducted 18-year-old Samantha Koenig from a coffee stand in Anchorage, Alaska. Samantha Koenig was working a shift alone at a small roadside coffee stand called Common Grounds. She had dreams, friends, a boyfriend. To anyone watching, she was just another teenager doing a night job to earn some extra cash, but someone else was watching. And that night, Israel Keyes decided to break his own rules. For years, he had operated in silence, choosing victims far from home, avoiding any personal connection, and never striking on impulse. But that night, something shifted. Israel approached the stand wearing a ski mask, pretending to order coffee. Then he pulled a gun. Samantha, visibly frightened, obeyed his commands. She was forced into Keyes' truck and taken to his home, while his girlfriend and young daughter were away on a cruise. At his home, Samantha was tied up in a shed outside. What happened next is too gruesome to recount in detail, but suffice it to say, Israel Keyes committed the crime that would ultimately unravel his years of anonymity. The next day, he boarded a plane. Cool. Detached. Calculated. He left her body frozen in the shed and joined his family on vacation. Weeks later, after returning from the cruise, Keyes used Samantha's phone to send fake texts to her boyfriend and family, making them believe she had run away. He then staged a ransom photo, propping up her body, styling her hair, even using fishing line to make it appear she was alive. Using her debit card, he began withdrawing money from ATMs across several states. That's what finally got the FBI's attention. Surveillance footage caught glimpses of a figure in a black hoodie, face partially concealed. His careful planning was cracking. In March 2012, Israel Keyes was finally arrested in Texas, pulled over in a white Ford Focus. Inside the car, Samantha's phone, her debit card, and that same black hoodie. His capture led to weeks of chilling confessions and a long trail of unsolved crimes finally being illuminated, though never fully. Keyes confessed to at least 11 murders, but investigators believe the real number could be far higher. What made him even more terrifying? He refused to name many of his victims. He said he wanted to protect their identities, or maybe, just keep control even after death. In December 2012, Israel Keyes took his own life in jail. He left behind a chilling drawing of 11 skulls, believed to represent his victims. He took secrets to the grave, and left behind a legacy of silence, fear, and unanswered questions. The most terrifying killers aren't the ones we recognize. They're the ones we never suspect. The ones who blend in. The ones who smile. The ones like Israel Keyes. We may never know the full extent of his crimes. He didn't kill for pleasure or attention. He killed because he wanted to. And that is what makes him truly terrifying. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime deep dives. Got a case you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe. And remember, not all monsters look like monsters.